In this video, we will demonstrate the use of GitHub with NXTware Remote and Eclipse. As you may already be aware, NXTware Remote is an integrated distributed development environment that is surfaced in Eclipse, and Eclipse supports Git with a standard plugin. It can be added quite easily within Eclipse if it is not present. To install the GitHub plugin, go to the Install New Software section under the Help menu. You select the plugin here, and as you can see from my history, I've already installed it. If you do install it, you will have to restart Eclipse to activate the plugin. To start working with Git on NXTware Remote, I have created a free account on GitHub to demonstrate using the Git repository from Eclipse. If you go to github.com website, you can create your own free account and start using Git right away. As you can see from the Code tab, I have created my first project, and it is called Hello World. I have added several basic programs and an interface file to test with. Next, let's go back to Eclipse, where I have NXTware Remote and the Git plugins installed. NXTware Remote is no different to work with than a standalone project, except the source code is distributed to another server like OpenVMS, Nonstop, or Linux. As you can see from the Project Explorer, I have several NXTware Remote projects already created in Eclipse on OpenVMS. You might recognize the project naming convention of NXTware Remote, which uses the OpenVMS IP address along with the project name and descriptor. If you look at the project icon, you can see this first project is a NXTware Remote basic project, and it has already been shared with Git. All changes to the code are now directed there instead of the workspace. If you are working with Git, you probably want to look at the repositories or the Git staging area for modules that you're working with. To add this view of the Git repositories in Eclipse, go to the Window menu and Show View and select Other. There are several options in the Git plugin to look at the Git repositories, the staging area. Let's choose the Git repositories so that we can see all the repositories we're working with. Going back to the distributed development environment Eclipse, let's look at the NXTware Remote project we created from the Git repository that's on our desktop. If you recall, there are several basic language programs on OpenVMS that were imported into Git and in this NXTware Remote project. These files are mirrored on OpenVMS as well, and changes to the source code within Eclipse are also updated on the OpenVMS developers directory. Once you have completed testing the code and you wish to update the Git repository with the latest changes, you have to use the commit command within Git. To commit changes, right-click on the project item and select Team, and then commit. The stage change that you selected will be in this window here, and you can add your commit message and press on commit to update the local repository. If you select commit and push, github.com is also, the repository on github.com is also updated. So now let's see about adding a Git repository to a NXTware Remote project. To start sharing a NXTware Remote project with Git, go to the project and right-click, selecting the team and then Share Project entry. We want to create a project. We want to create a repository, and we click on the Create Repository entry, and you can see it was just added in the repositories view, and we click on Finish. Now your NXTware Remote project is being shared with Git, and all the changes are now modified from the workspace to the Git repository. This concludes our video on GitHub and NXTware Remote.